Hi guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Lizzie and today I'm going to be doing the mid-year book freakout tag. I'm in my backyard right now because it's a nice day and I thought we'd enjoy it together. So I don't remember who this tag was created by and I should have written it down, but I will definitely have the original link down below along with the questions so that if you want to do it, you can. So this tag is basically just a bunch of questions about your reading progress for the first half of the year and then some goals for the second half of the year. So I thought that would be really fun because it's June, so we're halfway through the year. So let's get right into it. So the first question is the best book that you've read so far this year. And I can't just pick one because I'm extra. So I divided it into loose categories. So we have romance, young adult, and adult. So, best romance book that I read so far this year is Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. Literally everyone has read this book and everyone has loved it, and for good reason. I started tabbing it last night and it's bad. I'm literally gonna reread this, like not even a month after I first read it because it's just that good. If you for some reason don't know what this is about a boy named Alex Claremont Diaz, and he is the son of the first female president of the United States. He ends up having to pretend that he's in a friendship with Prince Henry of England, even though they despise each other, and they may or may not fall in love, and it's beautiful and wonderful and incredible. It's just so well written, and the humor is so well done, and the romance is so well done. It's kind of like an enemies to lovers. Basically every good fan fiction trope is in this book. We have enemies to lovers, we have fake relationship, we have people being together in small spaces and sexual tension. Like there's just, it's so good. Please read it. That's the best romance book I've read this year so far. For adult, I picked The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I'm late on the Evelyn Hugo train. It was like blowing up, I think in like 2017, and I just like it's not that I didn't want to read it, but I just like never got around to it. But finally this year, I downloaded the audiobook, which was incredible, and listened to it, and I loved it so much. It's so good. I'm sure you know what Evelyn Hugo was about, but if you don't, we follow a woman named Evelyn Hugo. She was a really big movie star, kind of like in the 50s, and we just follow her life. The perspective that we're reading from is that of a journalist who Evelyn has hired to tell her life story and write her biography. So we're kind of listening to Evelyn as she tells her whole life story, and it's like really, really incredible. And just so good. Like I feel like I really don't have to explain that much about it because you should know, and if you don't know, get on it. And lastly, YA. This was hard, partly because I feel like I haven't been reading as much YA as I normally do. This is such a recent read that I don't know like if I'm gonna ultimately count it as best of the year, but I really feel like I might, so I'm gonna do it. And that is Radio Silence by Alice Oseman. I loved this book so much. I cried reading this book, and I'm not a big crier when it comes to books. It was so good. It's so important. I really, really wish I had read this in high school, which kind of sounds funny from me because I'm only a sophomore in college, but I still really wish I'd read it in high school because I feel like I needed it. The main character, Frances, I saw a lot of myself and a lot of my high school self in her, and it's just really important. So if you don't know what this is about, we follow a girl named Frances, and she is really, really into this podcast called Universe City, and she gets hired by the creator of the podcast to start doing art for it, and she eventually figures out that the creator is a boy that she knows in real life, and who is the sister of one of her childhood friends. And so they start developing a friendship, and it's just really good. It's a lot about friendship, which I really, really love. Like, there is romantic elements in it, but that's not the whole point of this book. It's really about friendship, about being there for your friends, and it's just so beautiful, and I really loved it. So that's my favorite YA book as of right now. The next question is best sequel that you've read this year, and this was hard because I haven't read that many sequels this year. So I'm gonna do the one like set of sequels that I have read, and then one reread. So the one sequel that I read that was new is Dark Wild Night by Christina Lauren. This is the third book in the Wild Seasons trilogy, and I loved this one so much. In this book we follow Lola and Oliver, and it was so good. If you don't know what this series is about, we follow three young women after their graduation from college, and they go to Vegas for kind of a last hurrah before they all like start their jobs and stuff. And each of these three women meet three men, and every book follows a different pairing. So this last book follows a character named Lola and a character named Oliver, and it was so good. It's friends to lovers, and it just was so like soft and cute and just everything that like I needed, and I really loved it so much. So that's the best sequel that was new to me, because I haven't read any other sequels, believe it or not. It hasn't been a very sequel-y year for me. I don't know why. I feel like last year it was like Queen of Iron Darkness, Kingdom of Ash, lots of other stuff, but this year I don't know. And then the one reread that I want to talk about, that's kind of a given, but I'm still going to talk about it, is Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows by J.K. Rowling. I reread Harry Potter on audiobook this year and really loved it. And I kind of forgot how great this book is. I've only reread Harry Potter all the way through about one other time. And even then, I think it was sophomore year of high school, so I was what, 15 maybe? And I don't have the kind of appreciation for literature and things that I do now. And I really just forgot how beautifully written this book is. Like, aside from all of J.K. Rowling's problems now, she really fucking did that with this one. Like, it's so good. It's so beautiful and sad, and I just, like, the forest again is like, I think one of my favorite chapters, like, in any book ever. It's just like, it's so well done. It's just, I mean, we all know, like, I don't really have to explain this because it's Harry Potter, but just like getting to revisit it was really good, and the audiobooks are so good. So Harry Potter, self-explanatory. Wow, I'm only on the third question and I've been doing this for 13 minutes. That's bad. It's fine. I need to talk less. Smile more. The next question is a new release that you haven't read yet but you want to, and for that I'm going with The Wicked King by Holly Black. I really love The Cruel Prince. I don't know why I haven't picked this up yet. I've been in a real contemporary kick lately. I just read Radio Silence and I'm reading Wish You All the Best right now. Yeah, so I just kind of need to get back into that fantasy mood, and then I want to pick this up because I've heard that this is even better than The Cruel Prince, and I want to get to it, especially because Queen of Nothing is now coming out in the fall. The next question is the most anticipated book for the second half of the year, and for that I'm gonna have to go with Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. This is her first adult novel. The way that I'm thinking about it is it's a standalone kind of like dark academia book. So it's set at Yale, and it has to do with like Yale's secret societies, and there's like magic stuff happening. I'm not 100% sure, but like Yale, magic, secret societies, like I'm in. So I'm so excited for that, and I love Six of Crows. I still haven't read the Grisha trilogy, but I'm excited nonetheless. So that has to be my most anticipated book for the next half of this year. It would have been Chain of Gold, but we're not getting that this year anymore, so it's fine.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
The next question is your biggest disappointment, and this is kind of hard because I feel like some of the books that I didn't like this year, like I wouldn't call them disappointing. Like it wasn't like I had high expectations and then like was disappointed. It was just like I kind of went in expecting nothing, and then I was just like, eh. But I'm gonna go with Every Heart a Doorway by Shauna McGuire. This wasn't a bad book. Like, I didn't hate it. I gave it 3 stars. Like, I thought it was good, but I feel like a lot of people like really love this book, and I just was kind of like, it's okay. I don't really know why. I thought some of the writing was really beautiful. I think I just had different expectations for what it was gonna be. I wasn't expecting it to be this like murder mystery kind of thing that it ended up being. I kind of was expecting it to be, I don't know, I just had different expectations for what I thought it was gonna be. I guess I was kind of expecting it to be a little bit like literary fiction-esque, like more lyrical and more like musing about like what this place is like for all these kids who, you know, come back from these worlds, and it just like wasn't that, which is fine. Maybe I just wasn't misunderstood what this book was, but it just like it wasn't what I thought it was gonna be, and that's fine. So it just was kind of but I do think I might continue because I do know a lot of people really love this series and these books, so we'll see. The next question is your biggest surprise, and for that I'm gonna go with a series that I already mentioned, which is the Wild Seasons trilogy by Christina Lauren. These are my first real kind of romance books. I hadn't really like forayed into that genre before, so I didn't really know what to expect. I knew that Witty Novels really loved this trilogy, so I had some faith in that because I trust her opinions, but I still like didn't really know what to expect, but I loved them. And like in hindsight, I feel like it's kind of inevitable that I love them because I do love romances, like just in books, like in general. Like that's some of my favorite parts of reading books. But I did really love them, and it was really great. And now that's it. I don't know what else to say. Your favorite new author? Wow, me mentioning Christina Lauren again. But I think it's gonna have to be Christina Lauren. I've read 5 Christina Lauren books this year: the Wild Seasons trilogy, Autobiography, and Josh and Hazel. And I have loved all of them so much. They're just so good. They're just so good at creating characters that kind of leap off the page. I feel like with romance, and again, I'm not like an expert, I do feel like there could be a tendency to kind of fall into a lot of stereotypes when writing romance, and I find that a lot of their books don't do that. They keep it really interesting. All of the characters feel different. None of them feel like they never feel like the exact same story is being told, which I really like. So Christina Lauren. Second runner-up though is Casey McQuiston, because I think this book like makes her an auto-buy-author for me, because this book was just so well done. Like, I feel like I have faith in her now to like, I would trust her with like anything, because there are so many aspects of this book that are done really well. The main character is mixed race, and I feel like that's done really well for a white author. I can't speak about the accurateness of the LGBT rep in this because I'm not LGBT, but from what I've seen from other reviewers who are, that's done really well, which makes sense because I think Casey McQuiston is bi. So like that makes sense, and just everything about this was so good. The humor was on point. I feel like I mentioned that a lot, but I just like, I found it really refreshing. And just, yeah, so Casey McQuiston, also new fave. For newest fictional crush, I'm going with Carden from The Cruel Prince. I love him, basically, and I know this is a meme, but like literally, we're all suckers for dark-haired, kind of asshole YA boys. That's just it. That's a trope in and of itself, is a dark-haired, kind of an asshole YA boy who has a tragic backstory, and that's why he's kind of an asshole. That's a trope. Like, can we agree on that? That's a trope, and I love it. So Carden, I love him. He's my baby. The next question is newest favorite fictional character, and I think it's gonna be a big surprise here. Alex Claremont Diaz from Red, White, and Royal Blue. Let's see. I love Alex for a lot of reasons. one of the main reasons is because he wants to be a politician, and I'm someone who's really, really passionate about politics. And I think a lot of the things that he says in this book about politics are stuff that are things that really, really resonated with me. And so, you know, I relate to him on that level, but also he's so funny, and he's kind of a disaster, and I love it. And I love him, and he's from Texas, and I'm from Texas, and I felt like really seen by a lot of the Texas things in this book, like the y'all representation I really appreciated, and it's just, I love him so much. The next question is a book that made you cry, and I really could have answered like one of the books that I've mentioned before, but I really tried hard not to. So I decided to go with A Place for Us by Fatima Farheen Mirza. This is a debut novel, I believe. We follow a family, the parents, Rafiq and Layla, and then their 3 children. We start at the wedding for one of the girls in this family, and from there you can tell that something is not right, that there's been some fracturing of this family and of these relationships. From there we move back in time and kind of examine how this family got to be the way that it is and what happened between them to make their relationships the way that they are, and it's just really, really beautiful. I feel like if you like Celeste Ng's books, you would like this. It's kind of the same like family drama kind of deal. There's a lot in here, and it was really, really beautiful, and it made me cry at the end, which I wasn't expecting. So yes, A Place for Us. The next question is a book that made you happy, and for this I have to go with Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating by Christina Lauren. I know, another Christina Lauren book, but I just can't help it. It was so good. I just could not stop smiling throughout the whole book. So Josh and Hazel follows Josh and Hazel. Hazel is kind of like weird and quirky, but like not in like I'm not like other girls weird and quirky. Like she's just like literally just like kind of weird, and it's great. And she runs into a acquaintance from college named Josh one day, and it's just about their relationship and how their friendship maybe turns into something more. It was so good. It's another Friends to Lovers, and it's just so good. It's just so good. Just their chemistry is on point. Hazel's like weird and quirky, but like not in a bad way or like a cringy way. Like she's literally just weird, and like it's fine. Josh is such a good character, and he's Korean, and that was really appreciated, and it's just good. It's just so good. Read it. The next question is most beautiful book that you've acquired this year, and for some reason I struggled with this. I like really couldn't like pick a book that I'm like, this is the most beautiful. Like I don't know, and I don't feel like there are any books that I'm like in love with the covers with that I've gotten this year, but I ended up going with, drumroll please, Autobiography by Christina Lauren. This book is beautiful inside, but on the outside it's also really beautiful. Like the sunset situation going on and the book cover, it's just like, and they're kind of like wraparound things, so it continues onto the back. It's so beautiful. So that's my answer for this. The last question in this tag is the books that you want to read before the end of the year, and I have 2 answers for this because I do. The first is Ghosts of the Shadow Market by Cassandra Clare and other authors that I can't think of off the top of my head. This is the latest Shadowhunters novella collection. From what I can gather, we're following different people as they go into the shadow markets looking for different things throughout history, and I believe it's from the perspective of Brother Zachariah, which if you know, you know, so I'm excited for that. But yeah, I really want to get to that. I should have read it before I read Queen of Air and Darkness, but I didn't. I almost never read the novellas when you're supposed to, because before like about a year ago, before Christmas of this year, I didn't have an e-reader. Now I have an iPad that I can do my e-reading on. So maybe next couple of years, I will actually read novellas when I'm supposed to. But today's not that day, so I want to read Ghost of the Shadow Market by Cassandra Clare. And the next book that I want to get to is Prairie of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. This is an adult standalone fantasy novel with a female-female romance in it. That's really all I know. I started to read it, but I just wasn't really in a fantasy mood. But I did like it so far. All I know is that it has dragons in it, and they're kind of trying to protect this kingdom. I think there's a lot of political intrigue in it, maybe. So I think those are the two books that like I really am gonna say I want to get done by the end of this year. So yeah, that was the mid-year book freakout tag. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what books you want to read by the end of the year, or what some of your favorites of this year are. I would love to hear it. And I will see you for the next one. Bye!